Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about your goal weight is an illusion. So this idea was inspired by a book I'm reading called The Beauty Myth, and I find it to be a very profound book. And the idea is that this beauty industry was really put there as a way to control women, especially. But men are at the mercy of it at this point a bit too. The book was written in 1991, so a lot of things have changed since then. But the point is, for most people, women especially, your goal weight is really created by the beauty industry, meaning your goal weight is not primarily about how your weight is going to serve you as a human being and serve you to live a better, more fulfilling life. It's wrapped up in the idea that you're going to look beautiful and then you're going to get all of this kind of cultural attention and success. And if we look at just the beauty industry on its own, it's an illusion to some degree, right? Because you could be the most beautiful woman on the planet, but then you can see some other beautiful woman and then feel not beautiful. Okay. And then you could be the most beautiful woman on the planet, feel that, and then you're going to get older and now you're not beautiful anymore by those standards. And so it's always, it reminds me, I watched this this video, this clip. It was a raccoon with cotton candy, and they put it in a sink, and they put the water on it, just disappeared. And the raccoon says like that. This is what your goal weight's like. This is what a lot of your beauty goals are like. They're an illusion, and they just melt away before your eyes. You never actually get there. You never get all the wonderful feelings that you're looking for. They're mirages that never turn into anything solid and foundational. You're not allowed to feel beautiful and successful and happy and healthy all the time. You're always chasing it. And your goal weight is very similar to this. And this is a profound insight for me because I've struggled with helping clients do this for 20 years. How do I get a goal weight that really is meaningful? I said, why is this so hard? All of a sudden I realized it's because it's been co-opted by the beauty industry. And so goal weight is not thought of as how your quality of life is going to improve, how you're going to be healthier, happier, more energetic, more energized, more balanced mood wise. It's about this idea that you're going to reach some pinnacle of beauty and that everything's going to be amazing. And it's an illusion. It's a myth. It's not true. And so we wonder why this doesn't create the motivation to get you to the goal or even towards it. If you've been struggling to lose weight, if you keep trying to lose weight, but you can't get yourself to do the right things consistently, that's a motivation issue. And you're driving yourself crazy because I don't understand. I think about this 24 hours a day. But when we think about what you're actually thinking about, what you're actually trying to attain, you realize once again, it's that cotton candy in the sink. It's a mirage. It just disappears. The closer you get to it, the further away it gets. There's no there. And so a lot of you have lost weight and gotten to your goal weight and still didn't feel good. Still felt not happy with where you are. And this brings us right back to the self-image and psychocybernetics. Maxwell Maltz was a plastic surgeon and back in the 50s, and he worked with a lot of deformities. He would help fix the deformities, but some of his patients would still act as if they had the deformities. So the self-image we live inside our mind is more important than the actual physical reality we live in. And at this point, we've been conditioned by the beauty industry our entire lives to always feel less than. You never get to that point where you finally get the brass ring and get to hold on to it. It's always one step out of reach. And this is what happens. I think this is why 95% of dieters that lose weight put it back on, because I think they get to that goal weight, grasp for the ring, and it's another foot away. And so now the scale says, hey, I'm at the goal weight. How come I'm not happier? How come I don't feel more beautiful? How come I don't feel more successful? How come everyone's not, giving me all this admiration and attention? And it's very discouraging because we've built up this idea of what our goal weight's going to be, and reality doesn't match that. So I don't have a lot of answers for you here other than just to point out the illusions that we've been sold our whole lives and how it's been also co-opted our goal weight. And so how do you get out of that? I think the way you get out of it is you stop thinking of your goal weight purely as a physical, visual thing. That's a component of it. I'm not going to say ever take away your goals of what you want to look like. Those are fine. I think it's unbalanced though. I think most of you, me included at a certain point, most of the goals you have are about what you're going to look like. And I don't think that's enough motivation. So I would suggest that you balance that scale out by focusing on all the other things you get out of nourishing your body, out of living healthier, out of getting your weight down to a more comfortable level, how it affects you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually in positive ways. And I think the more you focus on that piece of it, I think you're going to open up a lot more motivation within yourself as you break free of the beauty myth and the goal weight myth that everything's just magically better at your goal weight. I suppose it is better, but it's not perfect. And I think you need to recognize that, and that the work you ultimately have to do to feel the things you want really happen inside your head, even more than what's going on outside of you. So hope this helps out. And if you want go deeper with this idea, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself. Then go get the free hypnosis session I give you. Watch the video I was made for you, because they'll help you to master your weight in a new way, a way that I think is a lot better for you, and will get you a lot better results. So yeah. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Sorry, Instagram, I forgot to turn you on. Oh, that's okay. I record these. These are podcasts, so if you ever miss these, you can listen to these at Program Yourself then. What's up, Katie? Toasted bagel with cream cheese. What's up? I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Slam per usual. Nice. Katie said, speaking my language already today, Jim. Yeah. Yeah, this book's really, it is. And I will tell you, like, it was a real paradigm shift. It was really sinking in on me this weekend. And I don't mean to keep, I guess you see a little bit of my negative side, but I feel like the dumbest. Sometimes I feel so stupid. And this is one of those times. I've been in the weight loss world for 30 years, personally, 20 years professionally. And I've never, like, I know the beauty industry is involved with weight. I know that to some degree, but I just never realized it the way that I have recently realized it from reading this book. And it really was profound for me. And it really hit me. And that's what I was talking about today with the goal weight thing. Cause I've been helping, and I'm doing this training too. So I think it was such a gift from the universe that I do the training before I had this realization, because it's actually affecting the training now. But helping people find their goal weight is really one of the most challenging pieces of the whole thing. I don't know if you all realize that, because a lot of people don't think about it, and they just say, "Oh no, my goal weight. I know what my goal weight is, Jim. It's it's X amount of pounds," But I promise you, that's almost never enough. Well, I don't know if you believe that or not, but so anyways, I don't know. I just wasn't able to think about it, but then I realized it. I realized it's an illusion. No, they're there. So I don't know. This book's really, it's profound. I love big stuff. I'm such a huge fan of like big cultural paradigms that all of a sudden you can see. And like, you know them. I mean, yeah, it's not, some of this stuff's not like, obviously we all know some of this stuff, but anyways, what am I talking about? Toasted bagels. I love cotton candy. Is your background real? Yeah, it is. It's a picture. Yeah, it's a real picture. Jim and I go back. Yes, we do. Toasted bagel cream cheese. I know you've been around. Oh, wow. It seems. The beauty myth, Jody. Beauty myth. I can't stress enough. Now, listen, I will tell you, I want to make this clear, because I always do this anyways, because I just read whatever I read. And a lot of the books I come across, they're just referenced somewhere else. I just randomly hear them. So I'll start reading. So I'm like, shit, this is amazing. This book's great. And the author may be a nut job for all I know. I have no idea sometimes. Okay. And I just make that point because to me, it's like I'm able to separate the person from the material. And on top of that, this is kind of new world for me. So I don't know if what they're saying is 100% accurate or not. I don't know. I don't give a fuck, because the general concepts of what's going on in here are really very obvious and true. And it put frames around it. But that being said, don't come at me if like, I don't know this author. And it turns out I thought I knew her and she's someone else. It was, anyways, who cares? But yeah, The Beauty Myth, that's the name of the book. Cena says, hey, so I'm only 3 kilograms away from my goal weight because of the advice you give. Thank you for that. Hey, you're welcome. Nice job, Senna. I like that name, Senna. Looks like my daughter's name. Yeah, great job. Happy to help you. That's what I'm here for. What's up, Joy? Toasted bagel cream cheese says, I think beauty is a big motivating factor, though. Oh, I think it is too. I think it's a huge factor, but I think it's an illusion. So I think it's one of those things. I'm not disagreeing with it. I mean, like, I get it. I get we're humans. I know we've been conditioned. I know this stuff's real. I'm not arguing with that. What I am saying is that I don't think it's enough motivation. If it was, I don't think 75% of the population would be overweight or obese. I think we have to look. I think most people have to look at their weight issue as a motivation issue. And I know no one likes to hear that, but I think it's true. And I think part of the reason stems right from the beginning that your goal is an illusion. It's bullshit. It's a mirage. It's not real. It reminds me of, like, in Buddhism, the first law of Buddhism is that all life is suffering, right? Now, what's that mean, though? It means that you're either not happy with how things are now and you want them to be better, or things are amazing right now and you don't want them to ever change, right? And so in that sense, it feels like all beauty is suffering because you could never look beautiful enough, right? And then when you do feel beautiful, it's not going to last. And it just seems, I get it. I get it's a reality of our environment. But I think what's very interesting, and that's what I think this book does, is all of us at this point have been born into the beauty bullshit. Women, women 1,000 times more than men. Okay. But at this point, it's been generations that have been born into this beauty matrix. Let's call it the matrix. Y'all seen the Matrix? Please, God, tell me you've seen the Matrix. But so we've been born into this beauty matrix. And so we just start to, well, that's just natural. It's just the way it is. It's just, that's life. And so when you get perspective on it, it's really jarring, just how much bullshit it is. I talk about this all the time in terms of dieting and food. It's amazing how fast our brains can just absorb a new reality. It's what makes us humans. And it's really jarring sometimes. And just as jarring the food. I mean, the food we eat has completely transformed from natural food for millions and millions of years to completely artificial alien food in just 50 years. And that feels normal and natural to us. It's crazy. And so the same thing happened with the beauty stuff. It's that it descended on us like an alien virus, and it just, it infected all of our brains, and we can't think outside of it. It's very difficult. So my point to you is that if you're not getting the results you want, then you don't even listen to me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Okay. But if you're not getting the results you want, I think it's very helpful to take a step back and reflect on things. And that's what I'm here to try and work and help you all with every day, is that I think when it comes to your weight, I think the real improvements are found by taking a step back and reframing, coming at things from a different angle. I don't think doubling down on your fucking Weight Watchers diet for the 30th time is the answer. I don't think starting your keto plan for the 45th time is the answer. I think the answer is to take a step back and start to reflect and come at it from a different way. And that's what I attempt to do every day with you all. So while I do think beauty is a big motivating factor, I think you'll find that, like a mirage, it never materializes. Never materializes. And the people, I have the advantage. The big advantage I have over most people when it comes to weight is that I have probably had more conversations with people that have lost weight and kept it off than most people on the planet. And so I have that advantage. And so I feel like I have an insight into genuinely what mindsets actually create the results you want. And so people say, yeah, but beauty is really important. Yeah, it is. But when I talk to the people that have lost weight and kept it off, very rarely is beauty the main driving force. Now, when I speak with people that are struggling to lose weight their whole lives, beauty is very much usually the number one thing. I got to look up the numbers, but I have, for literally almost 20 years, I've had an opt-in form where I've given stuff away. And on that opt-in form, I always ask people, what's your motivation? What's more motivating? How you look, how you feel? And so I have had literally probably 100,000 people at least come through that form over the last 20 years. And it is usually around 70% that say how I look. And the other 30%, I don't even know if I believe them anyways, but I'm just saying. So most people, knee-jerk reaction, what's motivating is how you look, want to be beautiful. And I get that's what you've been sold your whole life, from the beauty industry, from the culture, and from the weight loss diet industry. They're all wrapped up. They're co-opted, all the same thing. And so you can't even find your way forward. And what I say to you is, on top of it all, it would be like if the beauty industry tried to co-opt the drug addiction. Oh, I shouldn't talk about this. I'm gonna get banned. If the beauty industry co-opted the rehab industry for hardcore substances. And so if you put this in a different frame, it seems silly. Let me point out what I mean. It's like you frame this as a beauty exercise. So let's just say someone had an issue with alcohol, like a real bad one. And or they had a really bad substance abuse problem. Like really, like in your mind, think of the worst case scenarios of both of these. Okay. Think of that person. All right. Now imagine going up to that person in the throes of their addiction and the negative effects it's creating in their life. And you say to them, hey, you should stop this because your skin looks a little pale and you got like bags under your eyes. So if you stop this, your skin will look healthier. You'll look more beautiful and, right. And that was so silly in that context, right? That would never help any of those people stop their behaviors. Right. And it's not helping you change your eating either. It's not motivating enough. And I know you think it is, but it's because your whole life it's been co-opted that you think weight, beauty, weight, beauty, weight, beauty, weight, beauty, weight, beauty, weight, beauty, right? You don't think substance sobriety. You don't think beauty. No, you don't. They're more beautiful, whatever. You don't think of it as beauty. You think it's getting your fucking life back together, right? There's way more. When you think of sobriety, it's not about beauty. It's about like, holy shit, I want to live. I want to live. Right? The meaning is way deeper. Now, I'm just using an example just to show you that what you've been conditioned to bring to weight loss in terms of motivation, it's like bringing a stick to a bazooka fight. It's just not there. You don't have the deep, deep conceptual understanding of what you're doing to tap into the real motivation that should be there and is there. And it's all about framing it. How do you frame this process? Well, I just want to be beautiful. That's probably not going to be enough motivation for you, believe it or not. Oh, Melancholy Green, how's it going? Melancholy says, I hate that other people seem to know what my goal should be and won't stay out of it. True. This is what I mean, right? You all get to decide your goal weight for yourself. Your goal weight is a deeply personal thing. You get to decide. It's like your sexuality. It's like you get to decide what you want to do with it, right? And you should decide it based on you. But again, this is harder than it sounds. I know that because you've been conditioned to just, again, it's, I don't want to get into that part, but it's like, you're constantly just told what it should be. We look at BMI charts. And again, I don't mind the BMI chart as a reference point. It's not in and of itself. It's not the whole thing. BMI chart was based on white European men. So it's like, it's not an inclusive data point for a lot of people, but it is something we use. And I don't think it's the worst thing as a general reference point. But ultimately, you have to decide what your goal weight's going to be, I hope, on what weight gives you the best quality of life. And so, yeah, Melancholy says, the chart says I should weigh between 127 and 142 for my build and height. I'd love to see 135, but 127 would be amazing. Family says anything below 170 is too low for me. I'm 5'5" and small built. I'm guessing my question is how to shut out all the outside noise and focus on what I want. Well, that's a great point, Melancholy. And that is something, I know I've been saying this for a little while, but I promise I'll get you there. Just because I say things and don't get to them doesn't mean I won't get to them. But I am going to do the training on how to choose your goal weight. Like I said, I've been talking about this for probably a couple months now, and it's one of the harder things, believe it or not. And it sounds like it shouldn't be. It's one of those things you take for granted and you think, oh, of course I know what my goal weight is. But if you really, really reflect on your goal weight, you'll probably find that it doesn't have a lot of meaning to you. And so I don't think the BMI chart, I use it. So that's why I say that. Now, again, I guess relatively, it's probably more accurate for me because I'm the person it's based on to some degree. However, whatever, at some point when you choose your goal weight, it's got to be up at the weight that gives you the best quality of life. To understand the best quality of life, you have to look at both sides of the equation, though. We never do this because most people will just look at the weight side of the equation, what they want their weight to be. And they think the lower the weight, the better. But you have to take into account that in order, whatever weight you choose, you've got to eat and live a certain way to achieve it. This is what people always avoid. And so they'll choose some weight, and sometimes they'll choose a really low weight that they're not willing to live and eat at. They're not willing to eat this way. Because why? Because it reduces their quality of life and they don't like it. Every one of you have made this decision at some point I don't want to fucking eat that way. I don't like it. But what you don't do is you don't bring your weight up. You know what I mean? It's making a decision with yourself. It's figuring out where's the best return on investment with this decision. You can't just choose the lowest weight. First of all, what the fuck? I get it. I get it. I know we've all been brainwashed our whole lives about the lowest weight thing, but you have your own life and experiences to know that just the lowest weight does not equal the best quality of life. You know this. You know this for a fact. This is why if you're overweight, it is literally because subconsciously you're choosing what you believe is a better quality of life. And this is what diets have done. Diets are a conspiracy against you. Diets are literally there by the food companies. All the big diets are owned by food companies, folks. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products owned by the same company as Onions, Pretzels, and Cinnabon. Slim Fast is owned by the same company as Ben & Jerry's ice cream. These companies do not want you to lose weight. They want to fill your head with rocks while you want to lose weight so that you go back to eating their bullshit foods the same way you always do. And here you are as an adult and you have no idea how to really master your weight. You just got a bunch of dumb diet ideas, bouncing around your head. And it starts with literally the goal weight. You don't have a goal weight that has much meaning to you. Your goal weight, I don't even know you, and I know you chose your goal weight because that's what you weighed when you got married or when you were 18 or 20. That's number one. That's what the doctor BMI chart said you should weigh. Or, I don't know, at some point in your life, you lost a bunch of weight and that's what you got down to. But you'll find that there's not much meaning there. Again, if you ask me why I'm at my goal weight, I'm talking for hours and hours because I have lots of reasons why I want to be at this goal weight that are all weaved into and intertwined with everything that's important in my life. I've given my goal weight much more meaning than the average person, which is why I show up so more, consistently and intensely to make it happen. And so this is like the original sin of most people's weight loss is that your goal weight sucks. It doesn't mean much to you. And you got to fix that because if you don't, it's going to be hard. But yeah, if you got any questions, I don't think people care about eating lettuce versus candy. Well, huge. Claire says, cut my calories a lot and moving more, lost 1 to 2 pounds. What more can I do? Just be patient. Be patient, Claire. Great job. You probably cut your calories too much though, but Mama Graham says, what's the book? The Beauty Myth. Katie says, I think being open to learning and shifting our mindset like you are makes us more wise, actually. I'd agree with that, Katie. I agree with that. I try to be a role model of that. Again, I'm constantly learning and growing. It's funny. I just did. Oh man, I'm excited for you guys next week in the Thrive program. At the hypnosis sessions, I think are so good. The big main one is I'm perfectly imperfect. That felt so good to record. I got to tell you. But what was the other one I did? And it just made me think of that. Oh, I'm wired to improve. I'm wired to improve. I thought that was really cool too, because they kind of go along together, and it's like, we are wired to improve, but we're also wired to not improve, to be honest. But a lot of times our brains will say, oh, this is reality. This is how it is. But it's like, I'm always looking to get outside of that because a lot of times the biggest shifts we can make are when we get outside of the system. It's corny. It's thinking outside the box. You know what I mean? Like in a way, but it's like when you consistently are kind of like getting outside of how you normally think. I do this a lot I read a lot of different books and, most of them are kind of within the box that I already know usually, but sometimes it kind of gets outside. And this Beauty Myth is one of those books that really gets outside. And I love it so much because, the beauty thing is so big. We're all within it, all of us. And so to get outside of it is really hard. Like you really have to kind of seek it out. So that's why I share it with you too. Again, I'm not saying I don't have the ability to say, this book's completely accurate, or I don't have that ability. This isn't my specialty, but it doesn't matter to me because what I'm really get out of it is just the paradigm shift of just being, I'm usually, this is the beauty industry and I'm right in the middle of it. Again, not like women are, again, I'm not saying that, but we're all at the mercy of it, by the way, in different ways. So we're all within it. And so this book to me just pulls me outside of it. And I think that's a beautiful place to be because I think that's how you learn and grow and get wiser. Yeah. I do agree with that. Toasted Bagel, I've read a lot of brain rot lately. I think that's why I am this way. Yeah, of course. I mean, we're all brain rotting ourselves away too. I mean, like it's hard not to rot your brain in this environment. I mean, obviously. I brought my brain away too. I'm not trying to sit here and say I got this, brain that I never do dumb shit with. I do. But I also do good stuff with it too. And I think that's another little lesson. They don't have to be perfect with it. Golly sparing, good luck to all of us trying to get out of the obesity hole. Yeah. Good luck to all of you. But again, make sure that you, to get out of the obesity hole, the fastest way out of the obesity hole is to change your mindset. Oh my God. Toasted Bagel. You haven't seen The Matrix? I'm uncultured as fuck. Wow. I can't believe I've seen The Matrix. I know people don't see The Matrix sometimes. It's so crazy. Don says, maybe we can make that new reality a positive one. Yeah, that'd be nice. What would you say is another motivating factor for weight loss besides looking better and being healthier? I mean, I think the main motivating factor is that it's to improve your quality of life. And I think if you frame it that way, that's the big secret. And I know people say, oh, no shit, of course I want to quality of life better. I know, but you're not really thinking of it that way. You're thinking I want to look better, so that's going to lead to a better quality of life. So, they're not the same. I promise you that. I mean, everyone wants to look better. That's not going away, and that's fine. It doesn't have to go away. I want to look better, sure. But it's not the main motivating thing. The main motivating thing is I want to live better. I want to be the best version of me possible. And that's really, again, for me, it's weight loss wrapped in personal development. So where someone says, I want to look my best. Like I want to be my best, but that includes looking my best too. So isn't that better just automatically? And I think this very quickly reveals a lot of bullshit because there's a lot of people walking around thinking like, well, the skinnier is better. Well, it's not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because all of you have been at your goal weight at some point. If it's so amazing, why aren't you there now? What's your reason? So I mean, listen, I know what I'm talking about. I lost 50 pounds. I've been the same weight for 30 years. One blip, it's like I've mastered my weight. I help people do this every day. So if you're not at your goal weight, don't act like you know more than me. It's fucked up to say, but I mean, Jesus Christ, the world is a funny place now. It's the information age where anyone can have information. But, some information is more verifiable and accurate than others. And so when it comes to weight loss, everyone's allowed to have an opinion, but that doesn't mean it's right. Most people don't really have the quality of knowledge. What do you think about keto? Ola says, I think keto is a stupid diet. I think it's a fucking stupid diet for weight loss. It's one of the worst diets out there. Oh, no, Jim, I lost 50 pounds on it. Yeah. What weight you at now? Did you keep the 50 pounds off? Did you stick to your keto diet? If you can't stick to a diet, it's not a good diet. You dieters are so desperate and you'll just like measure, I lost a bunch of weight for, a month. Well, then what happened? Well, I couldn't stick with it. Well, then is it a good diet? You know what I mean? So keto's, first of all, ketosis is the sillies. It's that gives me the sillies. That's what I call it when something's so fucking stupid. It was a diet that was created for epileptics. What society are you all referencing that lives in ketosis? The funniest thing I read, I love this too. It felt so good to read this, that the Inuit people who survive on a lot of whales and whale blubber and protein, that is a big, feather in the cap of a lot of keto people. They have genetic mutations where they don't even go into ketosis. So who are you referencing again? Yeah. Who are you referencing? Are you Inuit anyways? But this idea they're going to completely get rid of carbs because you're so desperate to lose weight and do what? And what? Live like a society that's never been known before? What society are you referencing that doesn't eat any carbs? And let me know. Let me know. The African tribe that drinks blood and only eats meat, is that the one? Who are you referencing? What environment? So I don't mean to be so. I'm not. I don't want to sound too rude with the diets because I know a lot of people are doing diets, but we've got to take a step back and look at them. I mean, so keto, because what I'm trying to say to you, and I say it in kind of an aggressive way sometimes, but it's like you can't just look at a diet and judge it based on how much weight you lose in the first month. That's your core problem, dieters. You're so right. It's the saying that most people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. And you've been conditioned your whole life to do this by the diet industry, to focus on how much weight you'll lose in the first month. Every decision you make about your weight loss plan is about how fast you'll lose the weight. And that's how keto comes to be. Because if we ever measured diets on how much weight you've kept off 5 years from now, keto wouldn't even, you would never consider it. It wouldn't be on any list. The only reason you even consider keto is because you lose weight quickly for a little while. Very, very, very. And then I swear the only people that do keto long term are the fucking people making money off of it. And I know, like, this guy, he's a fucking asshole. He's probably one of the biggest assholes I know. And he is a hypnotist who thinks he's going to help people lose weight. He's probably 80 pounds overweight and he runs a keto group. And I say, man, I don't get it. I don't get it. But he's going to keep on pushing it because why? Because he's making money off of it. Seems to me the only people that really do keto long term are people that are selling you stuff that's related to keto. I don't know a lot of people doing keto 5 years out. So I don't know. I don't think it's a very good diet. But it depends on what your goals are. If people like to lose weight and then put it back on, I'd say keto's a pretty good diet for that. There's better ones, but that's pretty one of the best. If you love losing weight and then put it back on, then I'd say keto's pretty good. Miriam says, thank you for changing my life. Well, thank you. That's nicey to say. And you're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Mickey says, love you empowering people. Thank you. You do more than ever. Well, thank you. Vicky says, is the Circle app available now for non-members as well as members? Not really. Not yet. Fucking apps. I kind of wish I never even got started with the apps is how I feel. I don't know. That I will tell you, that whole app thing. It works well now. It works okay, but I don't know. It just, oh, anyways, I'm not going to get stuck on that. But no, not yet. But let's just say. And are you definitely keeping the Circle app? Yeah, I think so. Mrs. says, how do you program yourself? You program yourself in a number of ways. The main way we use and program yourself then is we use, I mean, you could call it visualization, but it's different than that. It's more self-hypnosis. It's if it will put it in its most simplest way, it's kind of imagining yourself as the person you want to be to some degree. Because the program's kind of, I think of it as two pieces. There's knowing what to do and there's being able to get yourself to do it. Knowing what to do, we have the weight mastery blueprints, right? So we follow the weight mastery pyramid: mindset, lifestyle, eating. And there's a workbook. So you go through that and you fill out your blueprints, right? So you figure out like how you should eat, you start to structure your eating so you can weigh what you want, how to structure your lifestyle, and then how to do your mindset. And so there's trainings and I bring you through all that. So that lets you know what to do. But then you have to be able to get yourself to do those things. That's the hard part. And so in that, you learn the program yourself then technique, which is really the redo rehearsal technique is the core technique you learn in the program. Then there's a lot of hypnosis that reinforces stuff as well. But the main thing is the weight mastery blueprints and the program yourself then technique. So being able to program your mind is very simple. You program your mind already. It's not like you're doing something new. You're just learning how to do it. It's equivalent of like, you drive somewhere all the time and then I give you directions to drive somewhere new, right? So the driving's the same, but you're just driving to a different place. So it's very much like that you're already programming yourself. You just don't realize it. You program yourself by your internal dialogue, what you say to yourself, what you're imagining in your mind, what you're remembering, what you feel. All this stuff is programming that happens subconsciously on autopilot that was kind of put there without you even realizing it. And so we take control of that process and change up what you say to yourself, what you imagine, what you feel. And that changes how you behave. And then that changes your weight. So that's kind of how we do it in a nutshell. But I would suggest anyone that's interested in how to program yourself, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Then, get the hypnosis session I gave you, watch the video I made, and it'll give you a lot more detail on it. Okay. Melancholy says, keto made me smell bad. Nothing beautiful about that. Lost 50, gained 65. Looked good, but smelled bad. What good is a skinny body if you smell awful? Breath, sweat, and worst of all is keto crotch. It's a thing. Look it up. Okay, there we go. See? Every day. Every day. Yeah, keto crotch. There we go. I haven't heard that one before. So add that to the list of why keto is bad news. Uh, so he says, I've lost most body fat, but my calves are still huge from being overweight. Any tips to slim them? That's interesting. Yeah. I guess, certain parts of our body, that is one, that's the I'm not gonna say the only, maybe there's some other, but the biggest benefit of being obese is that your bones get stronger. For this person, and I don't know if you're obese, but your calves got bigger. So I don't have any recommendations for that. I mean, walk less, let those muscles atrophy a bit. Maybe they'll I'm kind of joking a little bit there, but I think, like, give it some time and maybe they'll start to reflect the weight you're carrying around now more, but just relax. No one gives a shit about your calves, just appreciate what you did, enjoy the transformation you've created for yourself. Focus on the non-visual benefits that you've experienced, and then give yourself some time and see what happens, you know? Yeah, Vicky loves the "I'm perfectly imperfect." That might be, I think that session's really good. I'm curious to hear what you Thrive people think of it. I just sometimes, you just hit the nail on the head. By the way, I am working on the walking session. It's harder than it seems. I just want you to know that. I realized this the other day. I was working on it. I was like, I recorded hypnosis, like probably thousands of hypnosis sessions at this point. But they're hypnosis sessions done in a very specific way. So to all of a sudden switch over to a walking session, it's like very different. And I know it may seem like it's the same. It's not. So I am working on it. And because I really do believe in it. I think having some walking hypnosis sessions is going to be really, really good. But anyways, just want you to know that. Wish more men were as insightful as you. Oh, well, thank you. I've been very fortunate. In my life. Again, I take, I'm here to share. I pay it forward because I just feel like the information that's fallen on my head in my life, I have done nothing to deserve. It's just, I look at my life and it feels like a complete and total miracle, the information that's fallen on my head. And I can't say I deserve it. I didn't seek it out. It just kind of happened. And I will say I grabbed onto it. I will say that. That's why I say to any of you, if you hear this stuff and it's resonating with you, go get the hypnosis session in the video, that this may be an answer for you. Just like I did, I came across this information, same as all you. And, but I grabbed onto it and really dove into it. And that's literally why I'm here. That's why I've been at the same weight for 30 years. That's why I run my own business. That's why I have the life I have. It's because the information I was exposed to and I committed to it. So again, in some ways I'm kind of paying it forward here because I feel very fortunate, grateful, and lucky that I ever found it. So you all have the same opportunity, and if anything, you get to shortcut it a bit because I've taken all the information I've learned over 30 years and I keep, iterating it into Program Yourself Thin. DeBert says ADHD is effing my eating up. Yeah, sure. I mean, listen, the eating thing there's a lot of levels and layers to the eating piece. And so, yeah, sure. ADHD can show up and lots of things can show up and mess up your eating. I mean, that's just the truth of that. But you can fix it. Most of it you can fix anyways. You just figure out what's going on and then work to resolve it. Yvette, I had to weigh myself this morning, wake up call to take the steps to lose weight. Yeah, great job, Yvette. Yeah, sometimes, again, stepping on the scale, I'm a big fan of the scale. I know the scale means different things to different people, but ultimately the scale should be a data point, just one more measurement source for you. And if you can control your mind a bit, you can kind of control what the scale means to you. But at its best, when the scale's at its best, it serves as a data point and an objective sense of where you're at. And that can be very motivating. So great job of it. Babies are born in ketosis. Babies are born in ketosis. Is that true? Just that probably makes sense, right? Yeah. But you ain't a baby. But shit like that, by the way, though, I will say it is stuff like that some people will say stuff like that and they'll just be like, well, what the fuck does that mean? So my question, by the way, was what society? What society lives in ketosis? What thriving societies? What thriving societies living in ketosis? But Natasha says Ozempics, etc., claim to shut the voices in your mind, but still feels wrong to lose that way. I get that, and again, I'm not here to. I don't want to shit on the medicines because I think for a lot of people, the medicines are the best chance you have of losing weight. Especially if you don't want to put the work in. I mean, Program Yourself Thin is the only program I know, a weight mastery program, and it's a meaty, program to dive into. I think of it as weight mastery college. And so it takes a commitment of time, effort, financial, all that stuff. And I think that most people aren't really willing to do that because most people aren't motivated. See the previous conversation. Um, so if you're not willing to put the time, effort, and energy into really working on your mindset, lifestyle, and eating structures, then I think Ozempic's probably going to end up being your best choice, best option for getting the weight off to some degree. So that being said, I'm not against it. However, a lot of my clients are of a certain type. My clients are usually overthinkers, type A, perfectionist type people. And I have heard that a lot that a lot of them don't want to take the injection because it just doesn't feel right to lose it that way. So I'm not judging it. I don't give a shit, but I know there's people that think that and I work with them, so I get it. So if it feels wrong to you to lose it that way, fine. Use that as motivation and commit to doing it the genuine way. I mean, Program Yourself Thin is a million times superior to the GLP-1s. I mean, how could it not be? GLP-1s, first off, you're going to lose weight for 12 to 16 months. Then that's it. No more weight loss. Then you're going to be on that shit forever. Program Yourself Thin, you can lose weight until you get to your goal weight, whatever that is. And more importantly, is that you're improving your quality of life while you lose the weight. So this isn't about just losing weight. It's about becoming the best version of you possible. So simultaneously, while you're losing weight, you're learning how to live at your goal weight, how to be the healthiest, happiest version of you inside and out, physically, mentally, emotionally. You're learning how to transform your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. So, I mean, there's no comparison which one you would want. The question is, which one will you be willing to commit to? And a lot of people would rather spend a lot of money than invest a bit of time and just figure out how to do it. But what can I do about that? That's shit. Jim's popping off. I think I'm all calm now. You go through a roller coaster of emotions when I do these podcasts. I get all worked up and then I get calm back down. Booby Thrifty says it's not a diet. It's a way of eating for everyone. A treat doesn't mean eating crazy. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it is a way of living. I mean, ultimately, it's got to be that's what I mean. When I talk about even the motivation, if you just think beauty really is a skin deep thing. And again, I'm not knocking. There's a place for all that. I get it. I'm a guy. I understand all this. So I'm not telling you not to care about beauty. Keep caring about beauty. What I'm saying is caring about beauty exclusively is not going to get the results you want. And it hit me like a fucking piano dropping on my head this weekend. And I was like, oh my God. Because most of the people I work with are women between the ages of 45 and 70, I would say. That's the average. Okay. And so I think I've always thought part of it is that as you get older, you start to value the functionality of your body more. Beauty tends to be less important and functionality becomes more. But then after reading this book, I started to realize beauty becomes less important because beauty becomes impossible. Because for women, the society, this bullshit industry is always telling you you're beautiful when you're when you're a teenager. And then from then on, it's all downhill. Lines and wrinkles and, gray hair and skin and whatever. So there's no getting back there ever again. And so you live in this constant loop of feeling like shit about yourself and knowing that you can never get there. And you can't. You can't. Not with their bullshit. It's bullshit, folks. It's not there to make you feel good. It's there to sell you products and make you feel bad so they can sell you products. So it's up to you what you want to do with that information. And I don't think you just do one or the other. I don't think you step out of beauty standards. But I do think that you balance it out and you realize to some degree you've been lied to. And, so I have not experienced that the way women have. However, I was lied to about all the food. It was shocking to realize like all the food that I ate, most of the food I ate was really bad for me. And I felt betrayed to some degree. I mean, it's like the cigarette industry. It's like, okay, I know they're not that good for me, but oh my God, I didn't know they were that bad. And people realizing how bad the cigarettes were is, I think, one of the core reasons why the cigarette rates have gone down so much as they have in America. So I think when we see things for what they are, it stings and it hurts. There's no question for a number of reasons. There's regret, that there's betrayal, that there's sadness, there's, feeling of hopelessness sometimes. But reality is reality. And I think you're always better off existing in reality and moving from there. And so women especially have gotten the shit end of the stick when it comes to the beauty industry. And it's a bummer that it does affect the weight piece of it too, because the weight is not the beauty thing. Regardless of what you look like, it's one thing. But what you're eating and your weight is most likely going to be the main thing that dictates how long you live your life and that quality of life while you're here. So it's quite a bit more serious. And yet it's been infected in a similar way. So anyways, Bert App says, you know what to do, but can't be consistent because of my ADHD. Yeah, again, ADHD is definitely an issue. There's no question about it. I've worked with people with ADHD. But again, usually what almost where the things are very similar, whether you have ADHD or not, is strategy and mindset. And programming yourself, those are the two things we're always focusing in on. So for ADHD, strategy is crucial. Strategy is extra important for ADHD. You need more strategies than the average person. So yes, being consistent with an ADHD mind, you need to be even more strategic with your behavior and your approach. You can still get great results though. Don't allow the ADHD to be a limiting belief that's going to prevent you from doing anything you want to do. It is harder for you in some ways, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the same stuff, that you need structures and routines that serve you, that are not built around you remembering, but are built around your automatic mind. Because most ADHD people I know still brush their teeth twice a day at least. So you can install habits. You just have to do things strategically. Stacy says, I'm searching for the holy grail. I have Hashimoto's, slight calorie deficit, workout every day, and nothing works. My motivation is there. Great job, Stacy. Great job taking action. Okay. So yeah, if you're taking action, your motivation's there, right? Because there's two things that are keeping you from your goal weight. You either don't know what to do, or you do know what to do and you can't get yourself to do it. One or the other, or a little of both. Okay. So when Stacy comes in, is popping in, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing lots of stuff. I'm just not getting the results. Well, that's you don't know what to do thing. Right. And I'm already hearing it because, and again, I've helped people with Hashimoto's lose weight, PCOS, insulin resistance, all of it. I've not seen anything that prevents a person from losing weight. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist out there. I'm saying I haven't seen it. I haven't dealt with it. And I've dealt with most of the big things that people would put there. Working out every day is not going to help you lose weight. There's a thing called the constrained energy expenditure thing. So after working out for a little bit, your body just basically stops burning so many calories. The secret, Stacy, to losing weight is to reducing your calorie consumption in a comfortable way, especially if you have Hashimoto's and physical issues. Slight calorie deficit sounds good. I like that. I would also look to create a caloric transformation. I don't know what your eating looks like, but I'd want the eating to be cleaner if it wasn't already, meaning less processed food stuff, less junk food stuff, less fast food stuff, and more whole natural foods. And then a lifestyle component, which I think is always the main focus for anyone that has any sort of physical challenge like Hashimoto's, insulin resistance, so on. I think the lifestyle piece is crucial. Getting your relaxation up, your stress down, sleeping better, changing the biochemistry of your body through that process can a lot of times lead to weight loss. So the holy grail to me is the weight mastery pyramid: mindset, lifestyle, eating, and tweaking all those pieces so they're working for you, so that you can live at your goal weight feeling comfortable. And I guess sometimes I say the holy grail comes through calorie density, consuming less calories while you eat the amount of food that makes you feel comfortable. So hope something that helps you. But I'd go, if the motivation's there, go get the hypnosis session I give you. Click the link in my bio and then go watch the video I made. Anna Banana says best way to lose fat but not muscle. I mean, anytime you're losing fat, you're going to lose some muscles. So there's no way about that. But I suppose, the best way is that you do resistance training while you lose weight. Now, doing that is going to prevent you from losing as much muscle. However, it's also going to slow down your weight loss. But so if you're okay with your weight not going down as fast, but knowing in the back of your mind that is the process that's going to lead you to burn more fat and keep more muscle, then that might be okay. But just be aware that when you do it that way, sometimes the weight not going down as fast can be discouraging for people. But again, yeah. He says we don't know the long-term ramifications of being on the meds. No, that's true too. Yeah. Yep. As we said. Yep. As you say, it comes down to being the best version of yourself wrapped in personal development. Yes, absolutely. That's what we're always looking to do. Rockstay says literally trying to get off of hypertension meds. If I look better, a result. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's what I mean. I think that's the smart way to go about it for all of you, is that if you can't get to a point, like if you can't identify any other motivation to lose weight other than how you look, I think you're gonna have a hard time. Now it's different. The closer you are to your 20s, the more motivating how you look is typically. But as you start getting older, how you look becomes less motivating is what I've seen. So I'm not saying every single person, there's 8 billion people on the planet, so people can think different things, but I'm just telling you patterns I've seen. I've done 6,000 private weight loss sessions. So I've been doing this professionally for 20 years. So I'm just telling you the patterns I notice that, when you're closer to your 20s, how you look is more important typically. And as you get older, what you look like becomes less important. I know you probably don't believe that, but I'm just telling you what I see. He says, oh, sad face. Don't say that, Jim. It's not impossible. It's just more difficult, beautiful as we age, right? No, absolutely, Kate. I want to make that crystal clear, but you've got to come up with your own definition of beauty. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Because you've got to redefine what beauty is. Because if you're just going to allow the beauty industry to define beauty, you're never going to be beautiful. It's a mirage. It never exists. You're never beautiful enough. There's always something wrong. And we're always getting older. And the way they define, I'm not saying getting older is not beautiful. I'm not saying that. I want to make that crystal clear. But I'm talking about the central paradigm of the culture we live in. It points to this, that this is beautiful and that's not. That's why you got kids, 9-year-old kids doing skincare routines. So no, it's absolutely, you can be beautiful every age. You can be more and more beautiful as you get older. But you've got to redefine what beauty is then. You cannot go with the status quo definition of beauty. How could you? They can't both exist. See, this is what I mean about the beauty bullshit, is that they're always telling you this story, but it's like, oh, if wrinkles make you less beautiful, then how can you be beautiful as you get older? So what I say, oh no, you can still what be beautiful? What do you mean? How can you still be beautiful when you get older? We have one of two ways that we can still be beautiful when we get older. We can either come up with some cream that causes us to never have a wrinkle, so now we are still beautiful, or we redefine what beautiful is. And that's not my job, but I certainly have my opinions on that. But yeah, agreed. You can still be beautiful, obviously. Tricky says, I have ADHD and lost 20 pounds since September last year. Great job, Tricky. And thanks I appreciate you writing that, so that the other person with ADHD realizes, this is same for all of us, regardless of what you got going on with yourself. You got something going on with yourself. And a lot of times we use it as a limiting belief. Oh, because I got ADHD, I can't lose weight. Oh, I got this. I got Hashimoto's, I can't lose weight. I got this. I can't lose weight. And so I always love when people in those situations who have lost weight let you know, no, I lost weight, because it breaks that limiting belief to some degree. And that's really, to me, what always is in control of our reality is the beliefs we have. You know? Rocksteady, I lost weight because I hyper focused on Weight Watchers, lost 70 pounds in 5 months because of ADHD. Yeah, right. Okay, there's that flip side of it for sure. Yeah, hyper focusing. Absolutely. And you can use that. Stacy says, I think I'm working out too much. Yes. Oh, there you go, Stacy. Yeah. So you're probably working out too much, which is stressing your body out, high cortisol levels. You're not burning as much calories as you think, licensing effects. So you're eating more than you think you are. And, I'd chill out on the working out and put that energy into consuming less calories and you'll probably start losing weight. Rocksteady says, but put it back on and I couldn't repeat it because the interest was gone and couldn't do it again. Yeah, I get that, Rocksteady. That's the downside of hyper focusing. Again, I like the hyper focus. When I work with ADHD people, I help them hyper focus on habits that are going to stay there. So that makes sense. Says, thank you so much. You're welcome. Ronnie says, can you please talk about how the program is set up? Is it like weekly courses or guided classes? Is it at your own pace? The program is set up. Yeah, it's at your own pace. And so there's kind of 3 components to the program. The first one's a hypnosis one. So it's set up as an 8-week program where each morning you get a 5-minute hypnosis session. It's always a different one. So you're always getting a different message put in your head. You start your day with a 5-minute relaxation, meditation, hypnosis session. Then each week you get a 10-minute hypnosis session with a core weight loss mantra in it. And so you listen to those at night, repeatedly. So each week, in an ideal world, you listen to 7 nights a week. Okay. So you're bookending your day, 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Great. And then, And then the other components of the program is the weight mastery blueprints and the program yourself then technique. So the program yourself then technique, I teach you it's like a 25-minute training. I show you how to use it. It's a 1-2-minute technique. It's really easy to use. You use it at night and you use that to program your mind to make you thin and healthy. All right. And I show you how to do that. And there's a lot of trainings around that. But again, the 25-minute one, you'll be off and running. You'll know how to do it. That most of the time is going through the weight mastery blueprints. Now, if you just put the work in, you could probably get the whole thing done in 3 hours or so, And so there's trainings and then there's videos where I take you through the questions so you can fill out your blueprints that are customized to you. All right. So that's the main part of the program. And in addition to that, what I do now is I give you access to, there's a Tuesday class every week. And so I just cycle through the program. So whenever you get in there, we'll be wherever we are. But we're basically going through the weight mastery blueprints, the program yourself then technique, talking about the program, going through it live. You get lifetime access to those classes so that you got to go through the program at your own rate and speed, but then you can tap into those classes every week and you can listen to the live training. And then if you have any questions, you can ask them in there and it's a class. So I go back and forth with you and you have forever access to that, which I think really makes me feel so happy. It's one of the coolest things there is. So it's a guided program. I mean, it's set up as kind of a home study course to take you through, and you could go through it in literally a day in terms of getting all that material done, and or you could just space it out whatever way works for you. Melancholy says, perhaps reprogramming the mind to have a healthier view of beauty in all its stages in order. Why let society say what's beautiful? I have eyes and behold my own opinion, so reprogramming is welcome. Yes, exactly, Melancholy. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy to reprogram yourself in a different way than society has, but it's everything I'm talking about. That beauty stuff I'm talking about is just one more branch of the tree of what I'm saying. I usually am referring to dieting and weight loss and eating food, how you think about food. And so it applies to lots of things, but we get lots of toxic messages. Listen, folks, we live in a consumer society. What makes the world go round in America is fucking money and consuming shit. And happy, healthy, content people don't consume as much as people that don't feel good about themselves. So a lot of what we're at the mercy of is very, very coordinated, extremely coordinated attacks, I would say, on our mind, our psyches, our emotions by these industries. The beauty industry makes you feel like shit, so you buy more of their bullshit. They don't want you to feel good about yourself at any age. That's why, again, I see 6-year-old girls worrying about their skin. It's not, and hey, listen, I'm not judging it because I get it, and I have that in my life somewhat, so I get it. But if we take a step back, self-care stuff, if it's coming from the right place, okay, but a lot of times it's not coming from the right place. And that applies to everything. The foods we eat. Why do we eat the way we eat? Because we've been conditioned to eat them. Why do we think about weight loss? Why do we think about dieting, surgery, medicines? Because that's what we've conditioned. So yeah, I think in most areas of life, if you have any chance in hell of being happy, you've got to kind of reprogram your mind. That's what I think, but it's up to each person to do what they want to do. Low carb food ideas. How's it going? I've had a couple of bad days and put 2 pounds on, but now I feel like I could just go on a binge. Yeah, that'll happen. I mean, once you get that shit in your body, it can kind of trigger stuff, physiologically. And then obviously there's the mindset piece of it where you feel like, oh, what's the point now? But again, program yourself thin. When we talk about the program yourself thin technique, it's really it's a redo and rehearsal technique. The redo technique, in my opinion, is probably the most important part of the whole program. Simply because you dieters live in an illusion that you're going to start your plan on Monday and you're going to be perfect until you reach your goal weight. And so as soon as you have a misstep or a slide, your ability to manage it and get back on track is very, very, very low because you have no strategy. Once you screw up, what strategy are you going to use to get yourself back on track? Oh, willpower, just do it. So the redo technique is really, I think, one of the most important pieces because it allows us to learn from our mistakes. And you're going to make fucking lots of them. You're going to make lots and lots of mistakes. That's how you get better at stuff. You make mistakes and then improve, learn, grow, evolve. And dieting doesn't give you the space to do that. Dieting is perfect or nothing, all or nothing. So I get it, low carb. It's tough where you're at right now. But I want you to understand primarily because you don't have the mindset of what do you do now? How do you get yourself back on track? Again, I would strongly suggest if you haven't watched the video I made for you, go watch it. If you haven't got my email list, because your problem primarily is a mindset one. There's a physiology to it too. And we start eating bullshit and it's coursing through our veins and we're craving it more. So that's a piece of it. But the biggest piece is up in your brain. How are you going to manage a mistake? How are you going to manage a couple pounds you put on? And most people just fall apart because you've never learned how to deal with it. Creedy says, do you recommend cardio or strength training paired with caloric deficit? If you've been working out, then just keep doing whatever you're doing. But if you have not been working out, I don't recommend doing cardio or strength training. I recommend that you just focus on getting your eating cleaned up, probably getting more sleep. You're probably stressed. Most people I work with are stressed to the max chronically. So I don't think that adding more stressful things on top of that's the answer. I think adding less stressful things and calming down and relaxing is the answer. So now if you're already doing cardio and strength training, then go ahead, just keep doing those and just work with your calories. But if you're not, don't start those things. T-Moon says, where can we find the video? Oh, just click the link if you go to my bio, click that link and it'll give you there's like 5 questions. So I can give you a customized hypnosis session. It's free. And then as soon as you sign up for that, it takes a couple minutes to send it to you, but I bring you right to a video. Go watch that. If you even give a shit about your weight at all, I would think you'd be chomping at the bit to go watch this video. I certainly would. Low Carb says, yeah, it's true. Thanks, Jim, for that. I'm determined to be good today. Yeah. I wouldn't be determined to be good today. I would be determined to feel good today. Determined to be good is different than determined to feel good subconsciously. Very different. And being good means that you want to eat this stuff that you think is really pleasurable and enjoyable, but you're going to stop yourself. Feeling good means that I'm going to feel really good. I like that. Who the hell doesn't want to feel good? So if I reframe and redefine what feeling good means, because subconsciously when you say I want to be good, you're basically saying, I'm not going to let myself feel good today and not eat the stuff I like. And that's being good. Saying I want to feel good goes right to the heart of it. You say, well, if I want to feel good, then I'll eat all the bullshit. Does eating that shit make you feel good? Do you feel good eating that way? Do you feel good being 2 pounds heavier? So again, this gets to the heart of what programming is. If you're going to be good today, you haven't changed anything subconsciously. You still associate pleasure and good to eating that way. And being good is not giving into that pleasure. Saying I want to feel good is reframing what you associate with eating food, so that eating the way you've eaten for the last couple of days, putting 2 pounds on, to me, I want to associate that with pain. I didn't feel good when I ate that way, physically, mentally, or emotionally. I didn't feel good when I ate that way. I felt frustrated. I was annoyed with myself. I didn't feel good. I looked at the scale, it was 2 pounds heavier. I didn't feel good about any of that. I'd like to start feeling good starting today. How do I do that? Let's make healthier choices. Let's eat some fruit. Let's eat some vegetables. Have a salad. Drink some water. Take a nap. That feels good. Yeah, I deserve that. So I don't know if that makes sense to you all, but that's pretty much the whole game right there, what I just told you. Low carb. Oh yeah, so concentrate on the food. Good. I've walked 8,000 steps so far, so I thought I must be in a. Yeah. So I mean, you sound like you're doing good. So yeah, concentrate on feeling good and what that really means to you. Yes, being good or bad is a societal trap. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, feel good frame of mind. I've had a nap. Very good, very good. So keep following that, because the better you feel and the more you aim at feeling good and redefining what that means. That's what we have to fight through, folks. Our whole lives we've been conditioned to define feeling good as the pleasure we get from eating the shitty food that makes us miserable. And so it's not true. You've got the truth on your side. When you eat healthy, when you live healthy, you feel really good. You don't realize that, but you feel good. So anyways, all right, everyone, I gotta get out of here. If you're not in my world, go click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session, watch the video I made, and read the emails I send. If you like this, then I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. And then if you miss this and you want to listen to it, it's a podcast. It's called Program Yourself Thin, and you can go check that out. Melissa says it has to be more about feeling good than how we look. I've looked homeless before and didn't care. Yeah, it's true. I'm glad. I appreciate you saying that, Melissa. It's totally true. So yeah, so if you all want to figure out a better way, increase your motivation, whatever, all the rest of it, yeah, get that hypnosis session, watch the video, and check it out. It'll help you out. All right, everyone, have a super duper day. We'll talk soon. Bye.